Hi, friends. I just wanted to pop on and give you a little intro and a sneak peek into the online course. So I'm going to show my screen here, and this way you will be able to see what it looks like when you're inside the course. And you're going to hear from me in the intro. So enjoy.
Welcome to this introductory slideshow about emotional freedom technique. You're going to learn EFT basics, EFT psychology, a little bit about emotions, and you're going to get a full introduction into the process and healing lenses. We're going to cover upset and the PDFs that you'll be using throughout the course. Enjoy. In this online course, you're about to learn some proprietary techniques like the 4 quadrants and alternate tapping, which cannot be found anywhere else in emotional freedom technique trainings. However, in EFT, there's a universal understanding of the process. Go ahead and read this description below by the Oxford Review.
I will share some of this with you guys now. So in every EFT session, according to any EFT practitioner, the client identifies a situation or issue that's causing distress and rates the issue on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the maximum levels of distress and 0 being non existent. These rating points are known as SUDs, or subjective units of distress. What I love about the SUDs is it allows you to track your progress. So, another thing that's universal with EFT is that an initial statement of self acceptance is made by the individual, such as, although I have this concern or issue, I completely accept myself, or it's going to be okay, or I love myself. The idea behind this setup statement is that it first exposes the individual to the issue, and then it gives them a reframe of the issue in terms of self acceptance and self affirmation. It's really good to sort of bring that to the very forefront of the session because it just sets you up for looking at something really painful, but putting it into a perspective that's going to be safe, that's going to be supportive, and ultimately very healing. Everybody uses two fingers, or maybe one finger, or just their whole fingertips on the whole hand to tap on these pre-mapped out and predefined acupressure points, and they repeat words from this setup statement. This is pretty universal. Then the client reevaluates their distress level after tapping for a while and using different statements. They reevaluate at the end and they test their SUDS level on a scale of 1 to 10. And if the distress level hasn't dropped, they keep repeating the process until the level has fallen to an acceptable level or it's been eliminated altogether. That's what you get in most EFT sessions. So let's just flip through a couple of these slides.
Here we have a map of the tapping points. These points exist on both right and left sides of the body, and you will come to know them by feel. Don't worry about memorizing them now. You have this PDF in your PDF downloads, and you're going to become familiar with this as we do our 2 group taps and when you tap on your own. Later in this slideshow, you're going to learn about the meridians that they lie on and what a tapping round is. Simply said, it's when you tap on the head, face, chest, torso, and hands all the way up to the head and around again. We do this throughout every tapping session, and you will get very familiar and comfortable with this process as time passes.
Love a good tap.
So here's a little history on EFT.
So there's some history, and I share it in my online course, the different people that brought it together.
Let's dive into meridian.
And
We're getting it.
I shared some of this recently. It is good to talk about the psychology.
I told you that.
Let's go back. Okay, here we go. Psychology.
Remember earlier when I told you that EFT is a blend between modern psychology and Chinese medicine? Well, we've already covered the Chinese medicine portion, so we're going to dive into the psychology.
Meridians.
The goal is emotional regulation. We all have a window of tolerance. We can self-regulate using techniques like identifying our physical sensations, using alignment, and letting the body discharge energy. In EFT, we focus on the conversation around the upset, including blame, permission, love, and other healing lenses. So later on in this slideshow presentation, I take 5 minutes of your time and I tell you a story about a war veteran and how he gets over his trauma and PTSD. with Pat Ogden, the creator of somatic experiencing, using these window of tolerance, emotional regulation, and discharge of energy techniques. We're going to cover it now and we're going to practice it when we're doing our taps. It's really profound and it's worth a mention. I want to mention here in the next few slides, we're going to be covering a lot of distinctions and a lot of spaces that we move through emotionally in tapping. It's going to be an introduction, and I'm only exposing this to you so that later on, when we practice tapping and you have an in-depth training on all of this information, that will be the second time you've heard it. So for the next few slides, just try to learn through osmosis and don't stress about memorizing the information. Just let it all in. You can always go back and listen to the slide again, but just trust that you will be covering this in the next few weeks of your training.
Do you want to point something out here? So a lot of tapping coaches are going to share with you, they really want to keep you in a space of feeling good and feeling calm. The way I was trained, we really venture into uncomfortable spaces and we imagine it like a window of tolerance. So between my hands is where you're calm and not either having a panic attack or dissociating. You're just inside your window of tolerance. A lot of EFT assumes that you come to the tapping session stressed out or totally shutting down. And it really focuses on keeping you inside this comfortable space. So you're really just using a lot of those affirmations. In my experience, we have underlying in our world, in our experience, we have an upset that is like sometimes comes out and then it sometimes just retreats, and that we are living with unresolved trauma at times. I believe that we come to a tapping session pretty much in our window of tolerance. And then what ends up happening is we are afraid to feel that painful stuff that we're trying to avoid. So in a tapping session, we create a really safe environment for you to feel and really explore those feelings. And then we do some calming breaths, movement, somatic work, taking pauses, emoting, things that bring you down back into your window of tolerance or bring you back up if you're shutting down, bring you up into your window of tolerance. By oscillating outside the window of tolerance and back in, we're strengthening our ability to regulate ourselves. And I believe that I believe a lot of tapping coaches aren't bringing you into the uncomfortable space. They really just want to lay those affirmations on really thick. And what we do is we say, hey, we're already feeling this like level of upset around certain areas of our lives. Instead of shoving it down, let's just bring it up. Let's bring it up to heal it. So that's what we do a lot of in our tapping sessions. There's actually 2 to 3 times during the 90-minute tap that you're going to really lean into the discomfort. But most of the time you're leaning into this discomfort and then you're soothing yourself around that. And it really allows the lesson to sort of bubble up. You get to have the gem from that life experience. You get to sort of glean information off of that from your subconscious and just through like safe inspection of it. It's a really powerful experience, and it's not something that a lot of tapping coaches do.
More on the psychology of EFT. With modern psychology, we talk to therapists about emotions, thoughts, perceptions, and memories. We tap into the subconscious that rules our patterns, and then we work it out only verbally. But with tapping, we access the physical charge in the body and release it powerfully during the same time the memory is brought up and talked about and the dust is settling. Remember earlier when I mentioned dual task? This is exactly what I'm talking about. We're tapping on the body while we're bringing up negative memories.
Yeah. Just reminds me of like going hiking with a friend. So similar healing benefits there. Especially if you're hiking with like a therapist or something, or a really brilliant friend who's very loving, is you're doing a bilateral stimulation, walking up a hill, bilateral, right, left. And the dual task is you're doing stimulation of your body while talking about something that is very meaningful for you. The dual task is the physical sensation plus the verbalizing. And in tapping, that's exactly what we do. And it's really powerful to bring that somatic piece into it. the body naturally does these things anyway. It shakes, it shivers, it exhales, it sighs. I mean, how many times have you experienced something and you take a nice deep breath afterwards, that your body is naturally kind of off gassing and releasing energy that's trapped in your body? There's so much more on this in the course. I just wanted to give you guys a little sample of, this is where 11 slides into just simply one of the 42 lessons in one of the 5 modules. There's just so much information in this course.
To really drive home the fact that EFT is science-based, I'm going to share with you some of the information that is the foundation of EFT. Epigenetics suggests that we can turn on and off our cellular responses based on environment, which includes our thoughts and beliefs. And if we can change our minds, we actually can change our world. We're leveraging the laws of neuroplasticity, and as we visit old neural pathways and create new ones, we ask ourselves what the benefit is of keeping this painful way of being and examine the protection mechanism holding it in place. We then use love and forgiveness as a major part of this practice to unlock healing power using the most transformational emotion on earth. That's right. I'm talking about love and I'm talking about science all wrapped up into one.
So this is just a little snippet of the course. It's really powerful. And it's my joy to answer some questions. A common question is like, what is EFT? People don't really know what it is. So as you can see, it's dual task. We're talking and tapping at the same time. It's bilateral stimulation, which is tapping on both sides of the body. We're using somatic techniques. We're using script that's powerful. We're using these lenses I call the healing lenses of like forgiveness and inquiry and compassion and love while it's like putting on those glasses while we're tapping. And then we change the glasses, understanding, like it's understandable that someone would hurt me like that. They were shown that, like, if you could just put on these lenses of healing, then you can see things from a different perspective. So we actively cause breakthroughs in whatever it is that you're working on in your life. And each tap is 90 minutes, and it's designed to bring you from beginning to end of a situation to where you're in breakdown and you're uncovering hidden breakdown, and you're really looking at exactly what you really wanted to get out of a situation, where the rupture is actually, what's so upsetting about it, and you really identify that. And there's so many other spaces we move through inside the session, and by the end of the session, you get to take home all of this hard work that you've put in around that issue, and then you will experience it differently afterwards. It's a results-based session. So it's really my joy to bring this specific work to you guys. About 15 years ago, I got really into the power of essential oils. These are extremely powerful. It's basically the most potent form of plant medicine. Plants are the most powerful healers on the planet. And then the most potent form of those plants is the oil. And I got really into this. It's kind of was fringe, and it was niche, and it was on the fringe of, alternative medicine. And now it's like a household understanding and a household usage. And I'm so glad everyone knows about essential oils now. I feel like I can kind of get off my soapbox about them because people know about them. Awesome. EFT is next. I like to venture into these up and coming techniques and these up and coming remedies and alternative therapies. And I like to spread the good word about them. So, EFT is definitely something you guys hear me talking about a lot. I am in school to become a therapist right now. And this process is just going to, validate what I've been doing for the last 7 years, this EFT practice. Becoming a therapist is going to be just something that legitimizes me, but I don't plan to sit in therapy sessions with people per se. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing now, but be easier to find online. Anyways, just wanted to share kind of where I'm coming from with this. Is like, I really truly believe in this work. If you've ever read The Body Keeps the Score, you know that this is exactly what they talk about. EFT is one of the modalities they talk about in that book, and it's extremely popular for a very good reason. It's all of the 20 years of research all in one book, and it's all about PTSD and trauma and how we can overcome those issues and become more empowered in our lives. Okay, well, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this little overview, and it's nice to spend some time with you. Of course, reach out if you have any questions or would like to tap with me. And you can always find my online course and my inner peace coaching program at kategoldempowerment.com. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and see your issues through the lens of love and compassion. And if you need some support doing so, reach out. Take care.